Darknesslink, not terribly much. And there is the small key in Dark Cross. So 3 items remain. Unless I missed the map. I don't believe so. I believe it's 3 items in a map remaining. Very nice job by zeronicks there. Dashing into the key rack, keeping themselves on the grid for that key dash here. $20, 20 rupees, and a blue boomerang. Oh yeah, blue mail, the moon pearl, blue boomerang. Not exactly a loaded escape sequence, but players also coming out here with over 60 rupees, which is a good starting point as well. zeronicks being safe here, checking that sank chest, which was the map. Yeah, very nice time on both sides here. And zeronicks is going to begin by heading over to Bonk Rocks. We'll see if Darknesslink was counting items. Does an immediate menu check. Realizes, yep, no map, no sank chest today, and just a trio of bombs in Bonk Rocks. But those are the first bombs that the players will pick up. Neither of them opted to try to farm the rats or anything in the back of Escape. So getting a nice little bomb 3-pack there, pretty good. And the bush crab's only dropping 5 arrows. We'll get a look at Lumberjack here, just 20 rupees, so Aga not required for that today, which is nice. And Darknesslink is going to, at least for the moment, eschew doing that Lumberjack check, instead going to head over to the Lost Woods. And get both items pretty simultaneously. There's a nice free lamp. Did not actually see what zeronicks spied there at the mushroom spot, but it was something that they were not interested in. I'll get perhaps a better peek here on Darknesslink's side. And it was just 20 rupees. So yeah, both players have a decent amount of rupees. They have a trio of bombs heading into Kakariko. Going to be assured of being able to reach all the chests here, pay for Bottle Guy, and we'll see what the bomb status is after Kakariko. Darknesslink opting to bonk the rock north of Kak here, pick up an extra bomb heading in. Three pieces of heart, 20 rupees here in the main portion of Blind's hut. 300 in the back though, very nice. You love to find that early 300 in Kazboot seeds. It is very easy to set up that water walk to the Zora area when you head down to South Shore. So getting closer to that Zora money early, always a welcome sight. As zeronicks and Darknesslink soon after heading to the well. Some very welcome bombs there for both players, most certainly. And very quick map check on Darknesslink's side that I was not expecting. It looked like a crystal and Hera at the very least. And yep, just regular crystals all across the light world. Blue potion on the bottle guy, that is most certainly worth the 100 rupees, not only to have a blue potion in your pocket, but it's an extra check in Kakariko that you can do right now. And just another full heart in the back of the chicken house. Players have swiftly doubled their health here in Kakariko, which again, pretty welcome. Blue mail up to 6 hearts already. We got to check on our sick friend who has, for us, 50 rupees. That's pretty nice. And just another piece of heart in the back of the tavern, so yeah, not terribly much here in Kakariko. Money, a bottle, and some health. Very nice spin speed off the stairs there by zeronicks. That looks like the King of Samaria. Yep, you are definitely going to want to backtrack and pick that up. It was just a piece of heart on library. So yeah, Samaria in the bottle. Probably the two biggest takeaways here. Obviously, Samaria doesn't have a ton of early game benefits, but it's very likely to be required and has a lot of utility, especially in like later dungeons. And Darknesslink can also pick up his Chain of Samaria, zeronicks. Now heading south from Link's house. At the very least, going to start with the dam. A lot of different trains of thought in terms of the routing here on South Shore, especially with boots. I do like to loop the dam in with Agina, since the latter does tend to get isolated. A trio of bombs. The seed has been a little bit light on bombs, so again, those are pretty welcome, especially when you're hoping to save money for a potential trip to the Zora area. Both players over 400 rupees at the moment. Yeah, just 10 arrows on the sunken item, and zeronicks heading right to join Darknesslink in Mini Moldorm Cave. Yeah, it's pretty clear, as Chad knows, that the race time guy has not been to Meyer. He clearly doesn't value Samaria correctly. Just more bombs, a red mail, and some health in Mini Moldorm Cave. And again, the player's very well outfitted early on in this seed. We are still waiting for a little bit more progression. Got a nice free Moon Pearl and Zelda Cell. Darknesslink, again, short of Zora money, is going to check the dam here. Pick up those bombs, probably not pick up those arrows. While zeronicks heads over to Ice Rod Cave. Will be interesting to see what decisions are made here. And Light World's been very good for defense, not so much for offense, and that is a great 300 to see there on zeronicks' side. Immediately allows him to head straight into setting up that water walk. Darknesslink, meanwhile, went to the dam, got the bombs, passed on the arrows, and is going to give us our first look over here at Agina. Lake Hylia Island, just 20 rupees, so that will almost certainly not be picked up today. A couple new checks on both sides. zeronicks giving us the waterfall ferry, another full heart, and a glove. Alright. Agina not really helping out Darknesslink. Well, that glove right now not in logic, but certainly great to have. Just 10 arrows on the Zora ledge. So zeronicks going to knock out the Zora check here. And just 20 rupees. That glove is a very nice find. The one issue, I guess, for zeronicks right now is potentially isolating Agina. He knows that his logical answer is likely Agina or this Saha Eastern play. Darknesslink picking up Ether, a second sword, and some more arrows. So very swiftly, Aga has been put on the table as an option. Yeah. And Saha is giving us that information that Misery Mire is our green pendant today. Darknesslink, again, with only a pearl in tow, is beelining it back to the castle and is going to make this Aga play. And zeronicks looks like he's going to be following suit here. And as we saw, Gina on Darknesslink's side, not an answer. And so realistically, the players were left needing 2 pieces of Dark World access in the 2 or 3 items that they each had remaining. And the smart bet here is on this being an Aga seed. Yeah, and again, in this situation, makes total sense, I believe, to be aggressive with Aga. 1 piece away from Dark World access. I would think that both probably would have given a dive into Eastern there. And again, still not totally confirmed that it is an Agassi, but the odds are pretty darn high. Worst case scenario, you do have a quick route to the Dark World. Yeah, absolutely. Flippers could be an Eastern to put that, put the glove that zeronicks found in logic. Because right now, for Darknesslink in particular, very few options out after beating Aga. They're going to have the item on the pyramid ledge, and then presently Bowless Pod. Zeronicks would potentially have that catfish check out of logic at the moment. And a very good point raised by Futon. Zeronicks does have that additional piece of knowledge, even though that glove is out of logic. The knowledge is very important in this situation. Both players have very efficiently made their way here up to the top of Aga Tower. Yeah, the glove is in the waterfall. Darknesslink and zeronicks both came out of Mini Moldarm Cave short of Zora money. Zeronicks started at the dam and just continued to Ice Rod Cave and picked up 300 rupees. Darknesslink headed left to the dam and did Agina, and then did Saha, picked up the second sword and Ether, and opted to make the play to Aga, which again makes total sense. So both players have isolated checks sitting out there. It worked out better here for zeronicks. Again, got the 300 rupees that they were looking for, and were able to do the entire Zora area at once, picking up that glove. Darknesslink surely will pick that up sooner rather than later. And both players enjoying one of the most dynamic fights in the game. It's Aga 1. Just hope for a minimal amount of blue balls, Darknesslink expressing their frustration, and fairly so. But yeah, Aga is down on Darknesslink side as well as zeronicks, so we will see what options we have here in the Dark World. Pyramid Ledge, just a piece of heart. So pendants in Swamp, Mire, and Thieves, and a 5/6 in Ice and Pod. Yeah, with 3 crystals in the Light World, a lot of info to take in for both players there. Obviously for Darknesslink, this is their only option here in the Dark World. zeronicks does have the choice to potentially check Catfish, but again, for them right now too, that's also out of logic. It's out of the way. You made that Aga gamble here, figuring you're going to get some kind of access from Pod. So very reasonable play on both sides. First check here in Pod, small key, so not bow locked as of yet. Second small key coming out here on both player sides. If they were instantly bow locked, I think both players would know that their answer was probably either in the cave that they skipped, which is Agena on zeronicks side. Darknesslink has Ice Rock Cave, or more likely Eastern Palace. There's the big key on zeronicks' side. Yeah, so trio of small keys and the big key. Yeah, there is nothing else that is presently in logic from what the players have found thus far. Again, if flippers are just sitting in Eastern, then that glove would be in logic, as would Catfish, and the first couple checks on the mountain. But neither player heading to Eastern, so we don't yet know. They're both continuing to the back here. I'm going to pick up the map. And there are the flippers in the rupee basement of Palace of Darkness. So that puts that glove that zeronicks picked up in logic. And that's also some information there on zeronicks' side that there is one small key on the bow locked side. Which I believe was already guaranteed anyway, but yeah, into the Dark Maze for Darknesslink, picking up the powder. zeronicks setting up a hammer jump here. Yeah, neither player has yet checked Eastern. So that's 4 items here out of Pod. Both players went to Saha, picked up their second sword, picked up Ether, and opted to make the Aga play. Yeah, so there is still the possibility that, there is an item for Dark World access. Maybe even 2 in Eastern, but we don't know as of yet. Darknesslink did not check Lumberjack before doing some other things. So they're going to do this check here, sight unseen, and just going to get 20 rupees. Yep, there are a few additional things that are now in logic. Man under the bridge, catfish, 2 checks on the mountain, as well as the couple of things that we have not seen in Eastern. Zeronicks right now is going to sequence break the right side of pod. He's going to kill the green mimics, and then gotta aim to mimic clip the red one here. Very nicely done. So we do know that there will be a small key here. What the other item is Cane of Myrna. So that is the last item out of pod. No additional progression here, but always nice to have an additional safety in the back pocket. So yeah, Darknesslink makes their way up to Waterfall Ferry. He's gonna pick up their glove and not get terribly much else for their troubles here. But did get enough money to pay off Zora. Meanwhile, zeronicks is going to, at the very least, clean up this check the guy under the bridge. Yeah. Darknesslink kindly declines Zora's tremendous offer of 20 rupees for 500 rupees. And that is the OK boomerang from our friend under the bridge. Probably not what zeronicks was aiming for there. So, with glove in tow here, Darknesslink is heading to the mountain. Zeronicks did not do Agina, so that is likely where they are heading off to right now. Again, both players had a couple of things that, were a bit troublesome to get back to. I think, again, especially with, picking up those flippers to put that glove and logic in pod after beating Aga. Trying to be fairly comprehensive here when it comes to making sure that, we're not leaving behind a hammer in Agina or the second glove. Darknesslink has saved our friend Gary here. We'll see what is given as a reward, and just yet another piece of heart. Yeah, it looks like zeronicks is going to follow Darknesslink's lead up the mountain here. Again, with both players having already taken a dive into pod, you can definitely understand their reticence to making a partial dive into Eastern as well. But yeah, the mountain here, not the answer for the players either. So Darknesslink left with a choice here. Do we head into Eastern? Do we go back through that Aga portal and maybe check Catfish? And Darknesslink is going to check the guy under the bridge first, pick up their red boomerang. But yeah, the options have really narrowed considerably here. In a vacuum, 300 rupees would be great to have. Definitely not worth the time. And when you get into this scenario in a seed, where you're hunting a very limited amount of options for your answer, even though it is still relatively early in a seed, it can feel easy to press a little bit, wondering if you just happen to bypass something obvious. And it looks like we are going to get some immediate divergence, so we will be finding some sort of answer very soon. Darknesslink is going to give us the catfish check, while zeronicks heads to Eastern Palace. I believe that on zeronicks' side, catfish is the only option that he has left. Darknesslink still has that ice rod cave, I believe. But yeah, having to run around to a lot of one-offs, or making that old man rescue to go up the mountain for 2 checks, and our friend the catfish has a fetch quest. It is the mushroom. So Darknesslink is surely going to be immediately following up on that. And 1 item down on zeronicks' side. Ooh, that is a very nice hook shot to find an Eastern Palace there for zeronicks. We'll see if anything is here on our mushroom turn-in. And just 10 arrows. So yeah, the answer here is that hook shot in Eastern at the very least. That opens up access to the right side of Death Mountain. That opens up access to the left side, west side of Dark World. And zeronicks here still has 1 item outstanding in Eastern Palace. We'll see if it is here or on the Armos Knights. And it's on the boss, but yeah, the answer was the hook shot. So we shall see what zeronicks opts to do with this, and they're going to start on the mountain here and use that hook shot to head over to Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave. And yep, logically speaking, 100% an Agaseed. And definitely a slow opener. This is one of those seeds, again, that doesn't feel amazing when you're playing it. Especially having to do so many checks for so little immediate progress. So Darknesslink making their way into Eastern, and will pick up their hookshot soon. Zeronicks has made their way to Paradox Cave, and there is a flute and the mitts. Oh boy. Well, things have opened up in a big way here, and that is a great find on the mountain. That's going to allow zeronicks to do the entirety of East Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain. And a bow as well. Alright, so Eastern Palace now completable on zeronicks' side. It has plenty of options coming up. We'll see what else the mountain has. And Darknesslink picked up their hookshot, and they're going to opt to immediately take that into West Dark World. And there's a third sword in Spiral Cave there for zeronicks, and they're going to opt against making those checks on Dark Death Mountain, which is perhaps a little bit surprising here. We're going to get a King's Tomb check from zeronicks as Darknesslink gives us a check of Bumper Ledge, just 20 rupees. And 20 rupees for zeronicks as well. So Darknesslink going to head into the front of Skull Woods. It is a crystal. It's currently not completable without the fire rod. But with this route, definitely makes sense to try to treat this effectively as overworld here. Get a couple checks. If you spike something of significance, that definitely works in your favor. Zeronicks going to activate their flute. Yes, Zero skipped both Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave for the time being at least. Yeah, definitely a little surprising. Yeah, you can never tell what the reason is. I know that I personally have forgotten about the fact that it became accessible when picking up the mitts on the mountain, but I'm definitely not going to ascribe any meaning to it. We can perhaps ask zeronicks after the siege is over. We have zeronicks is also heading here into the front of Skull. Yeah, and this front of Skull Woods is not really cooperating terribly well with the players. Just a lot of runaround and keys thus far. There's a full heart. That was our first item we found here. And thank you, Nightclaw, raiding with the party of 27. Welcome to SpeedGaming 3. We are about 37.5 minutes into the sea between Darknesslink and zeronicks. This was an Agra required seed. Logically required to get your flippers in pod to get your glove from Waterfall Ferry and make your way to, or get your hookshot out of Eastern, which was available to do stuff on the mountain. We had a nice ice rod in C-shaped house there for Darknesslink, so it's going to be good to know for both players that they're not going to have to hunt that one down today. Now, after heading to Eastern, zeronicks did head up the mountain. Got a good amount of stuff out of Paradox Cave, flute, bow, and the mitts. Darknesslink is headed straight to West Dark World with that hookshot. And is diving into Pendant Thieves Town here. That's a couple of quick items in the front. We will see how deep the players want to go here. But again, it is a pendant. They don't have the hammer. Zeronicks' side has Myth's Dark World access right now. Darknesslink relegated to the Aga portal until they head up the mountain. Yeah, 3 items in the front of Thieves plus the big key should make it a pretty easy decision to head on out of here. Darknesslink aiming to set up a Death Warp. Trying to use that ball to do the work, given that they're on red mail and the rest of the enemies here no longer do terribly much damage. Yeah, the only boss defeated thus far is Aga 1. Players still do not have access to beat most of the dungeons in the game. Zeronicks does have the ability to beat Eastern Palace, but is almost certainly going to hope to pick up Hammer well before then and couple that in with Pod. So yeah, both players opting out of Thieves after picking up the 3 items and the big key in the front. But really, that Ice Rod and C-shaped house, the only thing of major value coming out of the Village of Outcasts. Darknesslink is 10 rupees shy of being able to afford the payment for the dig game. We will see if that comes to matter, and they're going to head right up to the archery game and try to drum up enough here. The one very early point of difference is both players exited Mini Moldorm Cave with over 400 rupees. Darknesslink opted to head left Dam and Agina and didn't come up with anything there, an isolated Ice Rod Cave, which happened to be 300 rupees that Zeronicks used to head to the Zora area and get that glove before doing the Aga play. Good job there in the aero game by Darknesslink, got enough for dig game here, and they have to do plenty of digs, it seems, for 3rd bottle. So even with the mitts and the flute, Zeronicks opting against picking up the frog here. Just yet another piece of heart. The seed has been very generous in terms of mail. Both players had red mail by the time they were done with Mini Moldorm Cave. 13 hearts on Zeronicks' side, 12 on Darknesslink's side. We'll see what we get here in Hype Cave. Trio of bombs. 50 rupees. 10 superfluous arrows. 5 rupees. And another 10 pack of arrows that do not have any value right now. Zeronicks was already full up. So it will be interesting to see what the play is here on both sides. Darknesslink probably going to be heading to the mountain with that hook shot, and they will pick up the things that we did see on Zeronicks' side. Yes, as far as hype caves go, that was definitely one. Very quick glance at the Meyer medallion. I did not quite catch that. Zeronicks going to give us our first look at Meyer's shed, and there's the book and our 4th sword. So a quick dive into Meyer's shed, yielding immediate dividends, and that could send Zeronicks right back to that same general area for Desert Palace. Thank you, Noistra, for Bombos for Misery Meyer. Again, both players with Meyer as the green pendant, probably hoping that they never have to go in there. But Bombos could also have value for Ice Palace as well. Darknesslink heading to Paradox Cave, and yeah, here's the good stuff. Here's your mitts, here's your flute. Zeronicks is gonna aim here to give us our first crystal dungeon clear, and there's the bow on Darkness Link's side. Pretty darn stacked Paradox Cave. Again, the early portion of this game, aside from the health, was fairly stingy. As we noted earlier, when Zeronicks came up here, did pick up the goods that Darkness Link is grabbing now. He did not opt to do the Dark Death Mountain checks after Spiral Cave, so we'll see if Darkness Link gives us those checks, and that would be our first look. Darkness Link now with Tempered Sword in tow. We will get our looks here at Paradox Cave, Hookshot Cave, and get that TR medallion info. Super Bunny, just a pair of 20s. Zeronicks makes his way to the back of Desert, getting our look at Hookshot Cave. There's bottle percent on Darkness Link's side. 300 rupees, 20, and yeah, nothing of consequence there. Unless I missed it, we did not get a peek at the TR medallion on Darkness Link's side. Yeah, Zeronicks heading into Landmo fight. Opting to lean on that gold sword. 2 slashes per Landmo will close them out. And yeah, that is the first crystal on the board for either player. And Zeronicks putting it up with just over 47 minutes into the game. So it will be interesting to see where Zeronicks heads now, though. Without the mirror, stuff like the Smith chain definitely doesn't feel great, and yeah, this makes total sense. This is the closest thing to efficient density here on the board for Zeronicks. Those Dark Death Mountain checks that we just saw on Darkness Link's side. Darkness Link, meanwhile, is heading back to Eastern. There's still 1 item remaining on the Armos Knights. It's a completable crystal. And it will afford Darkness Link the opportunity to flute away afterwards, so definitely benefits here in closing this out. We will see again. We have not seen Eastern completed, so finding that last item on the boss will give us a bit of information. There's not a lot of options though remaining after this. Gonna get our TR medallion check here. It is Bombos as well. So yeah, there's an item here on the Armos Knights. There is the Smith turn-in and the purple chest. There's still one item outstanding in Thieves Town, and I believe one in Skull, but that is not yet attainable without the fire rod. So yeah, zeronicks picking up just some money and an additional bottle, but they do have some decisions to make here as well. Would not be surprising to see them head to Eastern. It looks like zeronicks is going to head north through the gate up to Hyrule Castle, use this portal from killing Aga. This could be the catfish check on zeronicks' side, which we did see on Darknesslink's side. Truly amazing fetch quest incoming for zeronicks in the form of the mushroom. Yeah, and this has been a seed where it's very easy to last locate, so to speak, or at the very least just have options that don't feel great. Again, our logical access to Dark World and different points was kind of tortured as it was. And aside from Paradox Cave, really, most of the rest of these checks have not yielded that much. The book in Myershed did afford zeronicks the opportunity to beat Desert. And yeah, he's left chasing options here as well. Darknesslink, meanwhile, about to head into his Armos Knights fight. And for zeronicks, this could be bumper ledge check? Nope. Just a piece of heart on Armos. So that is the first crystal on the board for Darknesslink. It was not the progression item that he was hoping for. And yeah, okay, this is going to be zeronicks starting the Smith chain in addition to the mushroom turn-in. Knock them out. Knocking them out at once here. Darknesslink can activate their flute. And the Smiths deliver the fillet to zeronicks there. Not progression, but I know that there are a lot of fans of the fillet in chat. Yeah, there we go. You're welcome, Danny. So yeah, both players right now, again, they're reaching for options. Again, never feels great when you're in this spot with just a few places in this game having had worthwhile progression and then everything else being so scattershot. It's tough in the moment, but you know, when you give a little little perspective afterwards, you do realize that there's the high likelihood that your opponent's probably facing the same dilemma, and that's what we are seeing here on both sides. And zeronicks, I believe, is down to just 2 checks. Darknesslink, meanwhile, is turn in the Smith. Save and quit with the purple chest for zeronicks. Yeah, there's the fillet on Darknesslink side. Quite likely going to be following zeronicks' lead here. Perhaps, nope. Going to head to the mire area before doing the purple chest. Yeah, going to be rewarded with their book, but oh goodness, the purple chest merely having 20 rupees there. So, oh, zeronicks, that's correct. Zeronicks does still have the Eastern Palace closeout here. There is that one item on Armos. We know it's nothing, but it will be crystal number 2 at the very least. But it appears, unless I have missed something, that the answer is in the back of Thieves Town, despite there being 3 items in the front. It does look that way, yeah. It does look like Thieves Town is the answer, and again, pendant thieves, no hammer, no mirror. You find 3 items in the front. Seems like the ideal situation for that quick dip and dive, and the game sometimes has other ideas. So yeah, Darknesslink is going to follow up on this book in the manner that zeronicks did a little bit earlier. So zeronicks is going to be closing out Eastern Palace here. Probably still holding a bit of a lead. Because after this, the only option that he has left is to go back to Thieves Town, whereas Darknesslink does still have the purple chest as a potential option. Yeah, and as we near the hour mark, and you know these players are retracing each other's steps a little bit. Reminder: please give these 2 runners a follow if you've enjoyed what you've seen. 2 terrific players here, both very impressive, and they've had to be very patient as well with the seed that has decided to throw an Aga seed at them and put some key progression items in kind of remote places. And major thanks to our tracker Kianto too for doing a great job of keeping us on top of things. Zeronicks closing out that armor sight by just picking up a piece of heart. That is crystal number 2 on zeronicks' side, but yeah. Again, never fun if you're effectively last locating, but that's a pretty easy spot right now to have left behind, given the items that the players still require. As we did note at the outset, this is Group AA in the group stage of the Casual Boots tournament. Zeronicks is presently undefeated, 2-0 thus far, to defeat Darknesslink in their first matchup. Darknesslink is 2-2 overall. The other 2 members of this group, Obscure Lifeform at 1-0, Kanashi Kuno at 0-3. So for Darknesslink in particular, this pretty important match, especially with a rematch with Obscure as their final group stage match. Still yet to be played after this one. Okay, Darknesslink making their way to the back of Desert, while zeronicks has returned to Thieves Town. Surely hope to never have to set foot in this dungeon again in this seed, but again, the seed had other ideas. So we will see what strats Darknesslink employs here for this landmost fight. We saw zeronicks lean very heavily on that gold sword. And Darknesslink looks to be doing the same. Again, a couple of gold slashes per landbow head. Finishes them off. 1 already down, there's 2 and 3. That is crystal number 2 on the board for Darknesslink. who's now going to be assessing their limited array of options. And at this stage, we know the players still do need Fire Rod, they do need the Hammer, they do need Bombos Medallion. Darknesslink going to clean up that one location that they did opt to leave early on. Probably going to be a little bit disappointed to see that this is just 300 rupees, or that this is 300 rupees that they could have used at the time. But now holds much less value. So yeah, it's just a small key on blind cell, just a map. Either a map or a compass in the attic chest. So zeronicks is taking blind to the fight. Darknesslink again down to pretty similar options that zeronicks had earlier. Does still have the purple chest, in addition to closing out Thieves Town. And it looks like the purple chest is going to be the call for the moment. Zeronicks meanwhile finishes off blind and is rewarded with the Fire Rod. So that puts the back of Skullwoods in play. That's another clearable crystal available. And does give access into Ice Palace as well. As yet unclearable Ice Palace without the hammer, but we're going to see what we're going to find here on our friend Moth. And again, I believe that there is still an item in the back, whether it's on Moth or under the bridge. Both players did do the dive into front of Skullwoods shortly after getting Dark World access, or access to West Dark World more specifically. Yeah, the one positive there, I guess, about finding Fire Rod in that location with no mirror is it's easy enough to just go to the back of Skull, close this dungeon out, and then you're going to be saving and quitting, get a full health refill, and head into Ice. Zeronicks doesn't even have to worry about keys here. Darknesslink is heading back to pod. Does have that bow now. We did see the bow locked side on zeronicks' side. It was just a small key in the Cane of Burna. You know, Moth is down, and there's the hammer on Mothula, and that's pretty gross, Gabe. That's pretty gross. Gotta say. Great to find, but boy oh boy, that sequence to get there. But yeah, that does open up 3 additional dungeons here for zeronicks. So we swiftly moved into, I believe, just Bombos for go. A very good point, the exchange of the key items from the vanilla game in the dungeon, and put them on the boss instead. Have fun. And Darknesslink picking up their small key and their murder from the bow-locked side of pod, but unfortunately that's all that's there, so they may very well just be relegated to the back of Thieves at this point. zeronicks trying to set up for the quick kill on the Freezor here. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, hammer actually isn't the item in Thieves Town. Very good point. Imagine playing the vanilla game more than once instead of just randoing it up. Yeah, bombos here would really work out about as well as possible for zeronicks. Again, Darknesslink, you're gonna pretty much be following the same pathing most of the way, most of the rest of the way you would figure. And yeah, Pedestal is dead, given that Bombos is the medallion needed for Green Pendant Mire. You'll never turn down picking up Half Magic in Ice Palace. Although already having Gold Sword, the need for a multiplicity of additional Fire Rod shots, probably not terribly big on zeronicks' side. There's 2 items down here in ice for zeronicks. And we're getting some pretty rude Bombos locations in chat. If the mirror turns up and it locks Bombos, that would certainly be unfortunate for both players. Yeah, and that is our 3rd item here in Ice Palace on zeronicks' side. So, Half Magic, certainly welcome. But not the key progression item you're looking for. After this, zeronicks would quite likely finish off Pod, one would figure, and then probably make a decision in conjunction with that if they want to do anything additional before heading up the mountain again. Again, there are no additional items in Pod. Players did find all 5. It is the second 5/6 in addition to Ice Palace, though. Darknesslink, meanwhile, has made her way to the blind fight. Let's set up the blind script here. Very good job finishing off, and yeah, zeronicks using that gold sword. Puffs escape from the corner for a second, but cleans them up. Darknesslink picking up their Fire Rod on blind, along with the blue pendant, while zeronicks has put crystal number 4 on the board. As expected, Darknesslink doing exactly what we saw on zeronicks' side earlier, going to take that Fire Rod immediately up to Skull Woods. Going to get the truly exciting news that their hammer is sitting on Mothula, while zeronicks is indeed heading to Pod. And close out this dungeon for the second 5/6 crystal, which would be crystal number 5 on zeronicks' side. Outside of the mountain, the other options that would exist for zeronicks: Pyramid Fairy, Hammer Pegs, as well as the Bat up on the mountain right now. Hera is completable, in addition to Ether Tablet and Spike Cave. Very quick menu check there by zeronicks. And yeah, it should be just a dungeon item on Helmasaur. Darknesslink making their way to the back of Skull here. Gonna take on Moth. Put that gold sword to use in addition to try to use that fire rod to get Moth off the spikes. Nicely done. Moth down on Darknesslink's side for crystal number 3, and even more importantly, that truly gross hammer location, which opens the seed finally, quite frankly, because again the players have been bottlenecked to a lot of pretty gross choices, but both done a very good job of weathering that thus far. So we will see if Darknesslink follows zeronicks' lead to ice after this. And yeah, that's definitely a play that makes sense here. Got all the things to make Ice Palace quick. Zeronicks are going to head into their Helmasaur fight. 17 hammer hits to take out that mask. Couple swings of that gold sword. Mask is gone. And so is Helma for crystal number 5 and the second 5/6 for zeronicks. And yep, just a compass on the boss there. So an interesting decision coming up here for zeronicks. Do you opt to try to exhaust as many of the things off the mountain as possible? Or do you hope to find Bombos up there and close it out? And zeronicks heading back into the dungeon. I do not remember. Did they leave something behind? We shall see. Yep, okay. Darknesslink might have thought that they had forgotten something in the maze, but no, they were pretty thorough the first trip through, so. Yeah, the play here definitely doesn't look like it is going to be, at the very least, Pyramid Fairy before heading up the mountain. Darknesslink, meanwhile, making their way through ice, did pick up half magic, which was the only item of consequence that was found there when zeronicks made that clear. Darknesslink dropping into their cold stare fight. Yeah, the Puff's not playing nice today, but half magic fire rod plus gold sword, you can clean that up pretty quickly, and a very empty Pyramid Fairy there for zeronicks. They are starting at their house, pulling out the flute, so this could be a quick bat check. Or a quick hammer pegs check. So zeronicks being very thorough here. And it's going to effectively clear out the overworld. Darknesslink did take out Cold Stare for crystal number 4. And interestingly, heading up the mountain before closing out pod. So this could be a Spike Cave play here. On Darknesslink's side, well, we are getting hammer pegs on zeronicks' side. First time we've seen either of these checks. Yep, no mirror for Darknesslink. And opts to not do Spike Cave there. I did not see what zeronicks picked up there. It does not look like it is anything of consequence, though. Oh, that is incorrect. It was silver arrow, so it's not progression, but it is definitely of consequence. Thank you, chat. I was watching Darknesslink's calls at that moment. Yeah, silver's definitely nice. Again, the players have been very well outfitted from the beginning. They both have gold sword, red mail, 4 bottles, half magic. Silver's on top of that. Now on zeronicks' side, but at the very least, we do know that for Darknesslink, he's going to have to make another trip up the mountain with pod as yet uncleared. And they're both going to give us the ether tablet check here almost simultaneously. And yet another piece of heart, so that is not the answer either. So into Hera both of the players go. An immediate small key. And you're going to imagine that both players are going to be very thorough here. Very few options remain for each. Zeronicks setting up the hook speed, Herapot setup. Before defaulting here to a Raiden pot similar to Darknesslink, almost Herapotting at the exact same moment there. And both gonna opt to head upstairs and hope that that big key that is in Hera basement is not required. But there is an item in the Hera big chest. Darknesslink just beelining it to our good friend Moldorm here. With Gold Sword, a very quick fight. Crystal number 5 down for Darknesslink. Moldorm in less friendly for zeronicks, but again, Gold Sword, 2 slashes to the tail. Gets the job done pretty quickly. And yeah, that is Crystal number 5 for Darknesslink, number 6 for zeronicks. There is still one item remaining in Hera. Zeronicks gonna head right back in, go to Hera basement with that small key to pick up the big and check out that big chest. Darknesslink, meanwhile, heading over to the TR portal, which I believe, yeah, I don't believe that Darknesslink saw that. I did not know that that was Bombos. Yeah, that's definitely tough on Darknesslink's side. Again, both players had earlier opportunities to give a look at that TR medallion. Zeronicks did give a look when he came back up for Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave. Darknesslink gonna give us our Spike Cave. Needs to be a little bit careful there, but pulls out the Burno. We're gonna get Hera basement here, the big key, just another piece of heart. In Spike Cave for Darknesslink. So there's the big key of Hera for zeronicks. Once again, there are very few things left. There's the Hera big chest, and I believe the bat. Or zeronicks. Darknesslink does have a few additional things. And we are going to get the bat check here on Darknesslink's side. Again, Darknesslink does still need to close out Palace of Darkness as well. If this comes up empty for zeronicks, it's probably the bat next for him as well. But there is the mirror. Oh boy. Well, 10 arrows on the bat. So, mirror checks after Spike Cave here for zeronicks. Yeah, that's a tough thing to leave behind for Darknesslink. Again, in a vacuum, you can kind of see the gamble. This has been a seed in which both players have been surely feeling like they are last locating because the seed has basically made it be that way. Skipping that second item in Hera Basement is probably going to be problematic here for Darknesslink. And yeah, mirror was quite likely one of the last things that zeronicks was hoping to see there, because it does open way more checks than pretty much almost anything else. Well, anything else that he could have found. Unbeknownst to him, Darknesslink has skipped that for the moment, so Darknesslink's going to be retracing some of zeronicks' steps here. He will get those silver arrows off of hammer pegs. But you definitely expect Darknesslink perhaps to head over to Palace of Darkness, close that out, maybe do Pyramid Fairy, which we've already seen, while zeronicks can start up on these mirror checks. And yeah, indeed, Darknesslink is going to pod. Fortunately for him, this is a triple dip. He came back a little bit earlier. Again, both players, this was an Agaseed. Both players went into pod, got their flippers, which was their logical access to the Glove and Waterfall Fairy. zeronicks had already picked that up via Water Walk. But Darknesslink opted to come back with the bow to do the bow lock side and nearly got the Cane of Burna. There is Bombos just sitting out in Checkerboard Cave, so at 1:22:11, that is go mode for zeronicks. Again, some of these items have certainly been in less than ideal locations. That hookshot in Eastern Palace, the fire rod on Blind, the hammer on Moth, and the mirror down in Hera Basement. But if you're going to require that mirror, that's about as nice a mirror spot for your go mode item to turn up. No extraneous checks out on Graveyard Ledge, Cave 45, Bombos Tablet, or the worst case scenario would have been having to dive Independent Swamp. So for Darknesslink, we're going to head to their Helmasaur fight. This will be crystal number 6, but as we do know, they're going to have to head back to Hera to get that mirror. If they head straight to the Mire area after that, again, that would be best case scenario, but the clear advantage here is in zeronicks' side. Obviously, currently up 1 dungeon clear, but also has that mirror. Is in go mode and heading into their final crystal dungeon. Darknesslink gonna employ some bomb strats here on Helmasaur. Every bomb that hits does do the damage of 4 hammer hits. If that one hits, that should knock off the mask. 1, 2 gold sword slashes, and Helma is down on Darknesslink's side for crystal number 6. Zeronicks, meanwhile, picking up a quick pair of small keys on the Fire Rod locked side of Turtle Rock. Along with the map, we'd ideally love to just be seeing keys here in the front of Turtle Rock, especially when there's really nothing else that Zeronicks could actually want here. And a full heart there, so it is going to be a vanilla big key here in Turtle Rock for Zeronicks. Darknesslink is won't be doing the big bomb yet. We did see this on Zeronicks' side again. Totally reasonable. Completed your 2, 5, 6 dungeons. Couple items as opposed to going all the way back up there to Hera after making that a conscious skip. And there is the big key for Zeronicks. And just 20 rupees and a trio of bombs there for Darknesslink. Gonna pick up a free blue, which is nice. But yeah, Darknesslink could be down to another last location situation here, having to head back up the mountain to Hera Basement for that big key for the mirror in the big chest. I believe Zeronicks bypassed the big chest here in Turtle Rock. Again, very slim chance of that could potentially burn him. But picks up that small in crystal roller. He's gonna make his way to Laser Bridge as Darknesslink reclimbs the mountain here. Having to go the long way, unfortunately, to get back to Hera without that mirror. There's the first shield we have seen in this game. 50 rupees. And the last chest. There's that small key that Zeronicks was hoping to see. He is good to go to Trinex. Meanwhile, Darknesslink heading up to the top here. Yeah, again, Darknesslink skipped that chest outright the first time as well. So, was hoping that the second item was just going to be sitting there. It unfortunately for him, it's not. He's going to need to go down to Hera Basement, pick up the big key. Zeronicks heading into Trinex fight. Half magic, gold sword. Makes what can be a challenging fight far more routine. And the fire and ice heads down very swiftly. And double spin, even that little poke by the main head of Trinex doesn't do enough. Zeronicks closes out. That is crystal number 7 on the board now for Zeronicks. And he's about to make his way to Ganon's Tower. So if anybody in chat has a place where they want to see the big key of GT, predict where it will be. If you have specific locations, as Fear Agent likes to ask for, feel free to toss those in. We'll see how nice GT plays in a seed that has not been exceptionally kind to our players. Darknesslink has acquired their big key. It's hoping to reset the blocks here to set up for that Herapod. They're gonna get back up to the top of Tower of Hera and pick up that mirror. Zeronicks has entered GT. Let's see what route he prefers. Or at least gonna head left to begin with. Number 1 is just 50 rupees on the torch. Well past the point of money mattering in this seed. And there's the mirror for Darknesslink. Once again, definitely not the location he was hoping for, definitely not the item either. Number 2, 50 rupees. Number 3 is a small key. Number 4 is another small key. Number 5 is 20 rupees, and Zeronicks is mirroring out and gonna head right. And Darknesslink taking that mirror and Flute immediately heading out to the Mire area, gonna check checkerboard, and we'll be in go in a moment. And there's our cape, number 6, 10 arrows, number 7. And yep, there is that Bombos medallion and go mode for Darknesslink at 131.30. So they can now head up and take on Turtle Rock. Zeronicks makes their way on the right side of the GT basement here. Number 8 is a shovel. We are never checking. Number 9 is another 50. Number 10 is the big key. And number 11, just for good measure, is the boots. We do not have a 10 in chat. But if you would like a free supply of amazing Link to the Past randomizer seeds like this one, Sahabot will gladly oblige. But yeah, with 2 smalls and the big key in tow, Zeronicks is going to make this climb. Silver arrows, gold sword, 15 hearts, red mail, in tremendous shape. Darknesslink has made his way back up the mountain. He's going to make use of that Bombos medallion, open the Turtle Rock entrance. But yeah, for Darknesslink, just delaying trip up the mountain cost a little bit of time, was chasing a bit, and you know, once that fire rod came off of Blind, hammer off of Moth, players followed fairly similar paths, but Zeronicks was able to build a lead and never really relinquished it thus far. Zeronicks very steadily making his way through the gauntlet. He's gonna take on Landmo 2, silver arrows. 1, 2, and oh, the third one tried to get away, but Zeronicks recovers. Still 1 cycle is Landmo 2 there, very nice. Yeah, very good point in chat. There were a few occasions in which Darkness Link did catch up, or at the very least the margin was pretty slim. But they needed a couple things to hit ideally, and those didn't appear. And again, I'm sure that zeronicks probably doesn't feel amazing about this seed given where a lot of the stuff was, but pretty much every play that was made was was very reasonable. That fire rod on pendant blind in particular, especially after 3 items were in the front, is one that pretty much everybody is going to miss out on for a very long time in the seed. And again, nothing really that zeronicks could potentially need here at the top of GT. Had ample small keys. Makes quick work of our friend Moldorm too. It's not often you get to have 2 gold sword Moldorm fights in 1 seed. But yeah, zeronicks has made very quick work of the GT climb. About to head his way to the second Aga fight of this seed. Aga2 not really setting up with great patterns here, but very nice job by zeronicks trying to maximize what he can from this. This is a pretty good setup there to close it out. So 4 cycles, zeronicks has closed out Aga2. Unless it was 5. I could have miscounted. Tracker Kianto noting that it was a 5 cycle fight, thank you. But yeah, Aga2 down, zeronicks going to drop into the Ganon fight as Darkness Link is making his way to the back of Turtle Rock. Very nice job here by zeronicks making use of that gold sword easy 1-in-1, or at the very least making it look easy with those dash strats. Yeah, 4 hits here in phase 3. Again, he got just a bit too high on the screen there to set up for more than a single, but very good job at the end, closing it with a double. And that's going to do it for zeronicks in this seed. So please get your GGs in chat for the winner of today's race, zeronicks. Moving to 3-0 in Group AA with an official racetime.gg time of 1:38:08. Very impressive showing by zeronicks we see here on Darkness Link's side. Making quick work of the fire and ice heads on Trinex. And closes that fight out very well for Crystal number 7. Yeah, very well played race by both players, especially given, again, that the items were not in ideal situations, particularly, again, that fire rod on blind, hammer on moth, go mode coming checkerboard off that mirror and Harabik chest. Yeah, Darkness Link, after closing out Trinex there, did opt to forfeit But again, GG's to both players, zeronicks and Darknesslink, playing exceptionally well in a seed that was not very forgiving. And we're going to see if we can potentially get players in here for an interview. All right, and we are joined in the booth by the winner of today's race, zeronicks. GG, zeronicks.
Ooh, GG, thanks.
I think I'm just going to start by asking, what are your thoughts about this seed? Anything that you'd like to say about this wonderful, wonderful seed that you've just played?
It started off so strong, like the last one too. It felt like everything was kind of going very linear, and then it just was presented with a lot of one-offs, and I felt like I just kept picking the last one-off that I needed.
Yeah,
So
that was effectively the story of the seed, right? Again, not terribly much in Kakariko or really anywhere else. I mean, some nice items for future help. Obviously, you got that Pearl very early. You got Samaria off of the race game, but in terms of Dark World access and everything else, it really was really dry for a long time. Some early separation did occur when you water walked for that glove in Waterfall Ferry. Obviously, this was a logically required Aga seed, but you could have worked your way around it, as it turned out, just in kind of gross fashion.
Yeah, I think finding that glove there in Waterfall sent me to Aga, because I know I had stuff in Eastern, which was the big thing I was concerned about, but with just kind of, was it Agina left over, I didn't feel too comfortable getting the rest of my Dark World access, so I was like, I'll just do Aga, I think.
Yeah, you both made effectively the same decision. The one little early divergence point is after Mini Moldarm Cave, Darknesslink opted to head left to the dam, and Agina perhaps to try to drum up money, whereas you got that 300 in Ice Rod Cave and were able to just do the Zora area. But then after getting the second sword and Ether in Saha, you both opted for Aga, and then did a lot of the similar things for a while. But you were the first one up the mountain with that hook shot. So you picked up the mitts, the bow, the flute a little bit earlier, and then wound up clearing basically the game until having to come back to Pendant Thieves Town for that one item in the back.
Yeah, that felt real bad.
Yeah, that was a full last location for, I think, both of you. But yeah, your early routing had actually helped you build a little bit of a lead there. Darknesslink made a few pretty aggressive skips that they eventually had to come back to that didn't hit on anything. So you had that little sequence, Fire Rod on Blind, Hammer on Moth, and effectively set the rest of the seed in motion. But the ultimate nail in the coffin there was you closed out Hera for that mirror. Whereas Darknesslink bypassed the second item. One thing that had happened, I believe they had not checked the TR medallion, so I think they were trying to push Hera in effectively go mode and then try to head straight to TR. But yeah, it was Bombos, so that was effectively the nail in the coffin.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had my list of things to do up on mountain. And expecting to find nothing, so trying to get a couple steps ahead. And I wasn't thinking about the Titans mitts, So as soon as I did Spiral Cave, I was like, okay, I'm out of here. As soon as I left, it was like, oh, I completely forgot about Dark Death Mountain. So I was definitely thinking about that for a while. And then proceeded to immediately forget that I had Titan's Mids again and took the blacksmith for a long walk when I didn't need to. So that didn't feel too good about an hour in when I was killing some extra time.
Yeah, there was some talk in chat because we did think the same thing. Again, you go up to the mountain, you get those mitts, and I can absolutely say it from my perspective, having played too. I've done that as well, where you're not really thinking about it. You're thinking of your next play that doesn't involve. It's like, oh wait, shoot, I could do something right now. Whoops. But yeah, when you went back up though, you did give that check, which I think absolutely helped you. You can understand, I think, Darknesslink's position, probably thinking they were chasing a little bit too. But yeah, on the whole though, I think you played exceptionally well, given the cards you were dealt in this seed for sure. That puts you at 3-0 right now in Group AA,
Yep.
correct?
Correct.
So worst case scenario, it would be a potential playoff race, but that's pretty good position for advancing out of groups.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Obscure is no slouch, so that'll be a fun matchup for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, the two of you have still yet to play, right? So you've got 2 matches coming up.
Yep.
Any other matches on the schedule as of yet?
I don't think quite yet.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time, another almost 2 weeks of group play, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, 3-0 is an outstanding start here in this tournament. Again, those 2 matches against Obscure should be really fun to watch because you were both really outstanding players. So
I appreciate
I'm hoping that at least one of those gets picked up for restream because that should be a lot of fun. Any additional final thoughts you had on this seed or anything else?
No, just GG's to Darknesslink and best of luck with the rest of the groups. And I appreciate you guys for putting this together.
Yeah, you're welcome. This was, again, I'm sure it was not a fun race in a lot of parts, not a fun seed in a lot of parts of it with some of the item locations, but again, the both of you did a great job of sticking with it. And yeah, congratulations on the 3-0 start. Best of luck the remainder of group play to both of you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, and so that's going to do it for this race. Again, GG's to our winner zeronicks, moving to 3-0. Darknesslink came just a little short today, but is 2-3. Still has a chance at the playoffs, and there's still plenty of matches to come in Group AA as well. But again, yeah, a lot of fun. Major thank you to our tracker Kianto for doing a great job staying on top of things, as well as Mad Ewok Herd and Drosy, who helped get things set up for the restream. Tonight on SpeedGaming 3 coming up at 8:30 Eastern, so about 40 minutes from now. We've got a pretty great matchup between GFE and Mr. Angry Pants, also in this Kaz Boots tournament. So if you're looking for more Cash Boots action, stick to this channel in just 40 minutes from now. But yeah, that's all we got for now here on SpeedGaming 3. I've been RStark2942. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great night.